Hello. Today we're going to do something different, and this video isn't going to be limited to 5 minutes. It's going to be as long as it's going to be. But today I wanted to share a guided meditation that I call the Web of Light and Love. Now, this is something I learned early in my spiritual search, early 90s, and I really enjoyed it. I've done it many times. I've actually shared it with other groups. Actually, typically it is done as a group, and this will make more sense after you go through it once. But you would usually start with people across from you and around you, and you would start with the group first, and then go out in the world. But in this instance, I'm going to do the guided meditation from the standpoint of it's just me and you. There's just you, and so you're going to be doing it virtually. So, and so I'm going to modify it slightly. Now, I know that I usually talk about non-duality and enlightenment. This is a spiritual practice, but I wouldn't get too caught up on that. It's something to play with. I find that in the interest of spreading love, truth, harmony, and unity, this is a good guided meditation to just occasionally get very heart-centered and spread love. So get very comfortable first. Seated and get comfortable. Now, also take note of the number of times this video has been viewed. I'm going to refer to it later. But I think that as the video is watched and people go through the more and more people go through the guided meditation, it's kind of like a snowball rolling down a hill. It gets bigger and with more momentum as it progresses. So, but here we go. So, get very relaxed. Eyes closed would probably be best. But get very, very centered in the heart chakra, or the heart area. So it's between the breasts, center of the chest. And for me, it's always warm and light. And so it's just focusing on that, feeling that, and slowly breathing. Now let's start with the easiest for this, which would be your closest family and friends, the people you truly cherish and already love. Imagine one of them. Just pick one, and then in your mind's eye, see them standing before you. And it's almost like drawing out a thread, like in a way how a spider would create a web by drawing web of itself. But you basically pull out a strand or offer a strand of light and love from the heart to the other person. And you offer it. You don't force it upon them. This isn't aggressive. But you offer a thread of light and love to them. And you'll probably get the sense that they accept it. And it connects your hearts, heart to heart, via this web of light and love. Pick another person you love. And again, repeat, extending a thread of light and love from your heart to your loved one, friend, family, whomever. Now, after a few, you might be able to start pulling off groups at a time. You can think of, say, your entire family and offer them all simultaneously individual threads of light and love. And whether they accept it or not is not so important. It's offered. As we progress, you may get the sense it's not accepted by some people that's offered to as we progress in this meditation. That doesn't matter. It's simply offered unconditionally. A thread of light and love from the heart, unconditionally offered. And if accepted, goes to their heart and connects the two of you. So you might have gone through parents, siblings, friends, teachers, people you know and respect. But basically, people you know. Now, in the interests of introducing the whole meditation, I'm gonna move on. You may need more people. You may have other people you want to offer. Go through this meditation a few times, learn the process, and continue offering. But now let's move on to people you don't know. You haven't met them. Perhaps start with me. You probably don't know me personally. But offer a thread of light and love from your heart to me, as I offer one to you. And in accepting it, our hearts are connected. Now go to other people that you don't know. Just maybe neighbors. You may have seen their face once, but you don't know them. People that you bumped into in business. You've seen them. You could identify them in a crowd, but you really don't know them. But just offer a thread of light and love, unconditionally. And if they accept it, that's fine. If they don't accept it, that's fine. Move on. And so in your circle, because you're becoming the center of this network of webs, you've included those that you know and those that you don't know. Now, perhaps you're finding it's rather easy and actually feels quite good to, in good faith, just offer light and love to people you really don't know. But now let's move on to let's expand the circle. So wherever you're located, or if you're at home, let's say you're at home, just offer, in your mind's eye, in a way, faceless masses, but individually, offer to everyone in your building. Or if you're in a single family home, everybody in your neighborhood. But everybody in your immediate vicinity, offer them a thread of love and light, unconditionally. Because you know that in those houses and in those other apartment units, in those other wherever, in the various dwellings, there are people living there. You may have never seen them. You don't know who they are. Doesn't matter. Just kind of as one human to another, in good faith, offering a thread of light and love to them. Now, from our neighborhood, maybe we can include our city. There's thousands, maybe millions of people in your city. Just keep sending out threads and great and excuse me, and greater distances. And so the circle is becoming larger and encompassing everyone in the city. Now your loved ones might be spread throughout the country or the world. Keep them in mind too, because as this circle grows, you're going to be enveloping them and the people around them. And so in a way, a friend of a friend. So as the circle we're expanding crosses a point where maybe a friend or a loved one lives, well, the people they know, their neighbors, their cherished ones, other cherished ones, are in the area around them. And so now you're including all the people in that area. And so we've gone from neighborhood to city. Now let's do the state. Or let's do the county first. If you know the rough boundaries of your county. Or you can just hop right to state. The entire state. Everyone in it. Because you don't know hardly any of them. But just offer this thread of light and love to each individually. And so it's not like a single thread that goes to something, but it's thousands, if not millions, of threads going to individual faceless people you haven't met yet. But they are still there and still exist. From state, country. Include everybody in the country with a thread of light and love. Now you can do this at any time or at any level, but after you've extended and offered the threads to everyone in the country, just in your heart, feel the warmth, the heat, the love. And in a way, it's like sending out a pulse, a sonar pulse. Through the threads, just send out a pulse of love, caring, well-being for all. Kindness. But focus on love. Love, like a pulse, is sent through all the strings to the hearts of everyone. Now, I don't know if you're experiencing this, but every time I do this, it's not like they all reciprocate, but a great majority reciprocate. And so it's like a sonar pulse. It really kind of feels like that. You send it out, and it's like a bigger wave comes back. Send out another pulse of love and light, kindness and compassion, caring for the well-being. And when the pulse returns, accept it. Now, special call out. The number of viewers that you looked up earlier, that have seen this video before, they have all offered a thread of light and love to you. Accept them, and also offer to them, those faceless people who have already done so, offer them a thread of light and love. And so then there's two threads. And send out a pulse to all, including the past viewers that have already offered a thread of light and love to you. Now let's move on to the continent, because your country is probably part of a greater continent, or even a hemisphere. But extend beyond the borders to include the continent and the hemisphere. And continue on to the rest of the world. And after sending out millions and millions of threads that encompass the world around, in your heart, which may actually have a greater feeling of light and love after receiving the return pulse from sending it out before, send all that you have, all the love and light you have, out into the world through the threads to everyone. And that's it. So that's where it's the web of light and love, because you're creating a web. You're kind of the center, but a web that goes out. Now, it does look kind of web-like if you're doing it in a group, because, as I said, you would start with extending it to the person across from you, and then you work your way around in a group, and really that group creates the initial web that then connects to the rest. Now, as variations of this, I didn't want to do this for people who've never done this before, but variations of this, you can include the other kingdoms: mineral kingdom, plant kingdom, animal kingdom. You can include elements. You can include whatever you want. You know, the wind, the water, every atom, particle of the world. You can go further to include the solar system, the other planets, this galaxy, the whole universe. You can just keep going if you wanted to. But also, which, when you get a feeling for it, you might want to spend special attention on the people that you've harmed, either real or imagined in their minds. But you could offer a thread of light and love, preceded by an asking for forgiveness, and then offering it. And you may find there is kind of a resolution. You get a feeling of resolution. So you can extend the thread to people you don't like, which is sometimes a challenge, which is why I didn't cover it yet. But as you do this exercise, this practice, you could include people you don't like and see how it goes. Thank you much.